Good morning. How are you all doing? Ah, I'm fine. Oh. I did sleep last night, but I'm fine. Okay, so hope you guys are good. I actually am excited to be talking to everybody again today, and I know we're going to learn a lot. But today we're going to be digressing a bit. Okay, so yesterday was Monday actually, and I actually started a video and then something came up, so I had to stop it halfway, which I will have to continue. So it's going to be a series one and series two eventually. That's how I'm going to do it. So, and I think apart from that, yesterday was not just a good day for me, like some emotional stuff, not boyfriend things, so don't you think that way. But anyway, so today's topic is Lionize. Lionize. I'm sure a lot of people be wondering which one is Lionize again. Yes, Lionize. Lionize is a synonym rather for the word pedestal. Now, the meaning of pedestal from my dictionary means it is used to reference to a situation in which someone is greatly or critical or uncritically admired. It is to believe or behave as if someone or something is perfect, wonderful, or better than others, to the extent that one is unable to see its potential flaws or faults. In essence, what lionizing or pedestal actually means is that it's a fine line between inspiration and idolization. A lot of people, we because of the trend of social media and the rest, we scroll through our pages on social media, and then all we just look at is people who are doing well. We don't even know that their life is not as it is, you know as we picture it to be. The social media has made it so bad these days that people just idolize, lionize. It puts people on pedestals that are not even realistic. You understand? And then we put ourselves at the end of the week. We begin to. That's why I say a lot of people fall into depression and so many things. And most of this depression is just because they're seeing somebody they've idolized online, and then they just think that life is so easy. No, life is not that easy. And the first things we need to know about idolizing someone is that it's an obvious tongue twister. It's a way of viewing people in your own way. You cannot view someone in your own sight, or in your own eyes rather. It is very harmful actually. No matter how you put it, it is harmful. It is harmful to idolize or to visualize someone in the light that the person is not, or the light that the person is actually not expecting to be. You understand? It is, if okay, even if, let's take for example, you want to visualize a physical pedestal. You understand? Imagine someone is deeply admired. You understand? And then you love to forge into a connection with the person. And then I meet the person and I'm forging a connection with the person, and the person is looking at me and is like, what did this person see? What did this person see in me that this person is, idolizing me, is behaving as if I've got it all to make the person happy and all that. But because of that, now trust human beings. Once you begin to idolize them, they begin to think they are god over you. They begin to think that they are superior over you. You never give an opportunity for someone to think that they are god over you, because we are all godlike in nature. You understand? Now, if you were to put yourself in the position where, how do I explain it now? When you admire people, there's nothing wrong with admiring people. Do you understand? When you idolize people, or you put people on a pedestal, that's putting someone on a pedestal, is putting someone in that high place. Sometimes that person is not even up to where you're putting the person. The person is even better than you sometimes. No, sorry, you are better than the person. But because you place the person on a high place, you realize that you idolize the person. You understand? And the minute you begin to communicate with them in that level, they begin to think that they are godlike in nature. They begin to forget that you are not a human being. You understand? Then they now see you as a little person, as someone. Sometimes I had two experiences recently, very, very recent, of two people who, at some point, now I'm talking about this because it's something I just recently experienced. We are all humans. We go through this kind of things every day. Anybody that comes and tells you, oh, no, I don't make mistakes, I don't do stuff like that, the person is lying. And that's why when I started this, I said it's a negatively and positively okay, let me there are words that will talk about that will negatively and positively help us, or should I put it, sorry, I'm not getting it right. We're going to relate with things that are negative and positive and that affect us daily. That's the way I should put it here. You understand? Affect us. So I actually experienced it recently. One was actually a younger person, and I put her up there. Like, I gave her this belief. I am someone who does not see people as younger or junior, you know. Tomorrow it may be one small girl or one small guy, one younger person that will just lift you up or something, that will just do something that or change your life. It doesn't have to be money, save. It may just be one connect or one experience or one thought, one thing. Nobody is an island of knowledge. You understand? So you shouldn't belittle people. So me, I've always had that belief that everybody should be taken with respect, irrespective of your age. Okay. So this particular person, I put her up there. Like, sometimes I even go to her for advices, and then she began to see herself as God in my life. Like, how do I put it? Like, she started seeing. Let me not use the word seeing herself as God in my life, but she started thinking she was superior to me. Do you understand? And every time I was around her, I had to behave like a little child, and I couldn't take it anymore at some point, because it was like I wasn't myself anymore. I was trying to find myself. And over time, if I had not checked myself, I would probably have fallen into depression or anxiety. In fact, I was already getting anxious at some point, but I had to check on it, because if anxiety had started, depression will come in, because then you can start getting depressed. This person is not treating me the way I expected. Is it I'm not good enough? You've already labeled yourself as not good enough by thinking someone is higher than you. Do you understand? What you expect someone to think when you have idolized her, or you've put her in a pedestal, in a high place that she's not even? Do you understand? I'm not saying that she's not on a high place, but what I'm saying is, when you put people in that place where they are not, where you idolize them, they begin to treat you like a lesser being. And we are not lesser beings. We are all godlike in nature. We are all equal, irrespective of where we come from, our religion, our age. We are all humans, and we should be on the same level because of so many things, like I said already, like the religion, education wise, background, and the rest. When you pick someone and you put them on the pedestal, it looks as if you are towering them. They never asked you. Actually, the truth is, if you look at it, nobody asked you to put them on the pedestal. The person is just doing her own thing, or his own thing. The person didn't ask you to put her on the pedestal. Do you understand? But you decided to. So then you deserve whatever you get. When you idolize someone, you deserve what you get. Now, idolizing, lionizing, or putting someone on the pedestal is different from mentorship and the rest. It is okay to have mentors. I'm not saying that there's not anything wrong with. We have our mentors, but if you notice, mentors, they don't allow us to idolize them. Someone who is a true mentor will not allow you to idolize them. That's the truth, because the person knows that you need to have your own mind as a person. But when you start to put people on a pedestal, you put someone on high, the person is not a mentor to you anymore. The person is not a mentor to you. The person will just treat you like shit. That's the truth. I'm sorry I used that word though, but so now if we begin to communicate with them over time, you notice that when you're around them, you begin to communicate how much you love them, how much you appreciate them, how much you always be with them. It's like you're putting yourself on the floor. Yeah, you're actually putting yourself on the floor, because they will go back to their toilet, to their wardrobe, and they'll be like, oh, if this girl can see me like this, or if this guy can see me like this, that means I'm like this. So, and then before you know something, the chip on the shoulder starts coming up, starts growing. Then you see they have a chip on their shoulder. When they see you, they treat you like you're there. You understand? and then you begin to feel very awkward. You begin to feel, no, the truth is, like I said earlier, I've experienced it. It gets to a point when you're around them, you feel awkward, and they themselves, they will, you'll be feeling as if you are forced, like you'll be feeling like the relationship is being forced. You understand? You'll be feeling like as if that friendship between you and them is forced. It even happens in male and female relationships too. You start feeling as if the relationship is forced, as if, and it's very awkward to be in a friendship that is looking like it is forced. It's very, very awkward. And then you start wondering why. You'll be like, why am I feeling awkward to relate to this person? But you forget that you don't have put them there and you deserve whatever you get. Flattering and receiving of compliments are not taken the way everybody takes it. Some people, once you flatter them continuously, it doesn't have to be about their looks. You understand? Like me, I'm a pretty girl, and people flatter me with my looks and the rest. They give me compliments, but sometimes I still see myself. I know I'm pretty. I still see myself as, I see someone who is prettier than me and be like, oh, this person is pretty. Do you understand? But when you start flattering someone consistently, you start giving the person unnecessary compliments, not compliments to do with looks. Compliments to do with, oh, I'm so appreciative that you're in my life. I'm so happy you're in my life. Since you came into my life, things have I've been happy. I've been this. Your happiness does not lie on these people, though. So why are you idolizing them? When you start telling somebody those kind of things, hello, the person is going to see you as in fact, the person is going to belittle you. That's the truth. Because the person will start seeing themselves as God. The person will be like, oh, so if this person doesn't see me, this person will not be happy. So I can control the person's happiness and the person's joy. Now, what we need to do is to be able to balance. We should be able to balance between idolizing people and loving them, or should I say lionizing, or putting them on a pedestal. You understand? Shouldn't we, okay, let me even ask a question. Are you telling me now that I meet someone, the person is my friend, okay? The person is my friend, and sorry, I meet someone, the person is my friend. So are you telling me that the person does not love me naturally? Is that what you are saying? The person cannot love me naturally unless I tell the person I love you, I'm this, I'm that. Unless I make the person feel loved before the person can love me. Love, likeness, whatever it is, whatever friendship should be mutual. You cannot love someone that doesn't love you. And so when you love someone that doesn't love you, the person will treat you like trash. That's plain truth. You understand? So we should be able to love freely. If you can love freely, love freely. If you can love freely, you love in a way that there's no consistent attachment, there's no idolizing. It will make things easier for us. It's a very dynamic power between two people. That's the truth. You understand? It's a very dynamic power. It's a mighty one. Honestly, like I had to experience it, and I realized the power of when you put people on a pedestal, the power of what happens when you put people on a pedestal. It makes you go crazy, because without them, you start thinking life cannot go on without them, and they will treat you that way because they've already seen that, oh, anytime you have a problem, you run to them for advice. You can't think on your own. When you see them, you want to tell them everything. You want to gist them about everything. The truth is, actually, to be sincere, there's actually nothing wrong with having such friendship. You understand? You will meet people that are like that with you. But when you are with someone that you are forcing the friendship, you have to come, you be the one to gist the person about everything about you. Vulnerability is very, very hard. Vulnerability. It is very, very hard to be vulnerable. Okay. It is very hard to be vulnerable with someone and the person is not vulnerable back to you. So you see, you have already put yourself in a point where you are vulnerable. You've bared yourself out to that person, and then the person doesn't even bear themselves out to you. The person has seen your weakness, and the person is taking advantage of it. But unfortunately, in the process, let me just talk about this book. You see this book, Daring Greatly, by Green Brown, yeah. She has a PhD and some other awards and all that. So, but why I showed this book is because it's a book I just started reading. I can't, the light is not letting you guys see the book very well. But just Google it. And then if you want to order too, you can call me on 09031525045. I can get the book for you. It's daring greatly. Now, what Bryn Brown is saying in her book is that vulnerability is actually not a bad thing. Do you understand? It's actually not a bad thing to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. We were created that way to be vulnerable. But because of the human nature, the world has turned to something else that people don't even appreciate when you're vulnerable. Me, personally, if I meet someone who becomes vulnerable, me, even if it's a lady or a man, and you're vulnerable, I appreciate it because I see myself as, for this person to open or bare her heart to me and cry or bear your burdens to me, that is being vulnerable. Or tell me how much the person loves me, that means the person is actually a good person. And then I can relate with the person, and then I'll be able to come together and truly connect to the person. People are different. But the way I'm saying it now is not the way another person is saying it. Do you understand? Somebody will just see that, you've bared your heart to the person, you are opening yourself to the person, and then the person will start thinking the person is a god in your life. Then they do it's very, very normal. You understand? So we need to understand when we begin to idolize people in our lives and make them our mentor or their advisors or our friends or something like, because when you idolize them, they just treat you anyhow. You understand? We create unrealistic perceptions. That's the truth. We create unrealistic perceptions towards the expectations that we have for people. They are very unrealistic. How can you just expect that somebody will be there for you all the time, and the person will not take advantage of your vulnerability? If in the first place, if I have one thing, if I meet someone and the person is not, what's that word? The person is not vulnerable towards me. I'm a very vulnerable person, and I'm not ashamed to say it. That's one of the reasons why I got this book, Daring Greatly, because Bryn Brown is saying in the book that there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. In fact, that makes you more human, being vulnerable. It makes you human. But unfortunately, the world has turned to something that once you are vulnerable, they think that you're a fool. They think that there's something wrong with you. But these are the things that make people go into depression every day. A lot of Nigerian youths are depressed. They are depressed because even when they open their hearts to people, they use that openness that they've given to you, they use it against you. So some people lock up their minds with so many things, and then if they're not locking up, when they open up to someone, the way the person treats them or the way the person begins to belittle them and all that, they run back to their shell and they fall into depression. I remember when I was in even in secondary school, I had it too, but because Nigerians, they think that there's no depression, or nobody ever, they know there's depression, but they don't ever accept that someone is depressed. That's why I see people killing themselves every day. Do you understand? And doing things. Even all these people that you hear, they killed one sugar daddy or something. You think it's not depression? What would make a human being think of taking another person's life? It's not depression. This is depression from so many things coming from her downline. So far, let's say she's 30-something. In that 30-something years of age, people have treated her anyhow. And then she wants to just pour it on somebody else. You understand? When I was in secondary school, I was a very, very shy person. I was very quiet. Very, very quiet. In fact, it was that bad that I graduated from secondary school. I went to command secondary school. I graduated from secondary school without even saying a goodbye to anybody. I was that to myself because I was little, but I had been vulnerable at some point to one or two people, and I saw the way they treated me. Like, they will now start treating me as if they are God over my life. So I withdrew completely, So I remember another experience I had with being vulnerable, you understand, towards people. Because, okay, another experience I had was in my university. In university, my first year in school, I got into school knowing just my family, friends, and some church people that came. It was a private school. So when we got into school, we all related. I made my own friends. And I remember the first set of friends I made in my hostel. You know how private school hostels are now. In my hostel, the four of us were on the same lane. You understand? So we're all like a clique, Till date, I can't even remember it. I think it's just one or two I relate with. One that I really, really relate with. You understand? But I had to send a message to one the other time, some time back, and I was like, I'm sorry about university that you just noticed that I blanked out on you and all that. I said it was because I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know what was happening to me at that point in time. And okay, let me even tell you what happened. I had a bad experience in my 100 level. So I had to go home for a while. So 200 level, I resumed. No, 100 level, second semester, when I resumed school, I had to go back home. So going back home, that point at which nobody stood by me, I had been vulnerable, I had opened myself to my friends already in school. And I was expecting them to, even if I didn't tell them what was happening, because I was scared of opening myself to them. You understand? I thought they would just okay. No, first of all, self. So if you see me that I'm depressed now, you're my friend. You will not even how do I put it? You will not even comfort me. You must hear the gist before you comfort me. Ngwa. No, that's not fair. You understand? So they saw that there was something wrong with me, but they didn't know what was wrong with me, and I didn't tell them anything, and they all withdrew from me. So till I left university, I was on my own. I only had one or two friends. When I'm going to class, I'll walk with someone. But I remember last year, I now met one of my friends from uni again, and then the guy was there. We're chilling, we're hanging out one day. He called me, I was like, babe, don't this way, we'll see you. Let's see. So it was not like, do you know in school, I used to look at you as a loner. Like you were very quiet, like you just used to carry your face. Everybody, you're a pretty girl, you had a good shape, everything. But everybody was scared to talk to you because they felt there was something wrong with you. And I was like, there was nothing wrong with me. I was scared to open myself to anybody. But growing up now, I realized that vulnerability is actually not is wrong. Is not wrong. You understand? We just need to find the right people to be vulnerable to. And like I always say, the universe turns around. You understand? I know that at some point, yes, we meet bad people on the way. We keep meeting bad people. We meet bad people. But at every point, we must meet one or two good people. It's just that we have to be positioned to meet those good people. We cannot do without humans. We cannot do without ourselves. I find it very weird when sometimes some people will say, they don't like humans. There's some people, I have one or two friends that will say they don't like people. They don't like people. No, we need humans. God had this reason why He created us and brought us together and made the population growing and growing, and the population is growing every day. So that means we need each other to grow. We need ourselves to survive. We need ourselves to lean on. But unfortunately, some people are just narcissists. What they call that word? They are just extremists. Yes, that's the word. They're just extremists. They make things when someone is vulnerable towards you, or someone sees you as a good as an example to them, you don't take it for granted. Rather, you appreciate it and nurture that feeling. You nurture that person, you help the person. But when you begin to treat the person like the person is belittled, or the person is this, or you treat the person like you're godlike in nature, then you are taking advantage of it. But you forget that this world is going to go around one day. So one of the disadvantages of putting someone on pedestal is that it reduces your self-worth. Reduces, like I said, when I was in university, after putting myself on a pedestal, and the last some experiences I had recently, that I put myself in the point where I put these people as pedestals, it reduced my self-worth. Sitting down back now, I actually realized that, I'm actually a bit sharper than this person. No, I get sense past this person. Not be say I get sense past this person, but like I'm smarter. Do you understand? I I can actually, there are things that I'm actually good at, I'm better than. You understand? But once you begin to place yourself in that point where you are putting someone as a pedestal, your self-worth will reduce. And no matter how good you are, no matter what you do, no matter how you try to impress them, they will never see your worth. They will never see your worth. They will keep on disempowering you. I'm talking passionately about this because I know what this particular thing does to people. It will make you so depressed because you've believed in the person so much. After all your advice is you go to the person. You want to gist, something happens to you, you go to the person. Everything you go to the person. What do you expect? You begin to depend on the person completely. You understand? And the world is so crazy these days, honestly. You know, First of all, one of the way, like I said, one of the disadvantages of putting people on pedestals is that it reduces our self worth. You understand? It puts you in a place where you have to look up to someone. Look up, like I said earlier, mentorship is different. When you are looking up to someone and the person is treating you, a mentor, a true mentor, someone that is a mentor that wants to teach you, that wants to guide you in life, will not match you, will not step on you, will not treat you as trash, will not treat you like the person is above you. Rather, the person will treat you at par. The person will want to relate with you, gist with you, get to know you too, and know what's up with you. And then the person will also tell you his own experiences or our own experiences to back up whatever you guys are discussing. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? But so it's easy. I can't blame, the truth is, I can't blame anybody for being in that way. The country is crazy, honestly. Sometimes you just sit down and then you can't even think. Your head is full. You think of house rent, you think of money, you think of this one, you think of clothing, you think of keeping up with so many things. The struggles are so hard, the challenges are hard. So it's easy for us to just fall back on the next person that comes around us and we think is close to us. But I just want to put out there this morning that we should consciously try not to put people on a high pedestal. Pedestal. We should consciously, it's a conscious effort. You have to consciously do it, or else you have to put yourself in a comfort zone. Take a step forward. Listen to your intuition. Listen. Do something that makes you important for your own personal growth. Not always going to someone and running to someone and telling the person how you love the person should tell you what to do. This one. No. If you have your own personal growth, when I started growing on my own, everybody around me noticed. There's a friend of mine that every time I used to call him for everything. Like, I want to do this, I'll call him. I want to do that, I'll call him. I need his advice. He's an older friend. Then I realized that when I call him to talk, demanding, he's commanding me to do like this. And then that makes me not me anymore. You understand? Like I said, this is going to be relatable. So that's why I'm talking about my own experiences. Okay. So when we see someone that has created a good life for himself and all that, it is normal for us to appeal that the person is appealing to us. It's very normal. But we should see them as a real human inspiration, not idolizing them. Because when we see things from that view, we can get much idea from the whole picture and realize how innately worthy we are of our own dreams. Did you hear that? Let me read it again. He said, this, okay. Sorry, when I get nervous, I start maybe like that. But anyway, when we see someone who's created a life that is appealing to us, it's important to use them as real human inspiration, which is very different from idolizing. You understand? That's mentorship. Because when we see things from that viewpoint, we can get a much better idea of the whole picture and realize how innately worthy we are of our own dreams. That goes back to where I was saying development. Develop yourself, grow yourself, read books. If you cannot read, these days things have gone in a very different way entirely. You can listen to podcasts, you can listen to messages. You don't have to read if you are lazy to read. Like I do that all the time. At night when I get home, I'm so lazy to read. I'll just put on one podcast of one something and I listen to it. It will just be blasting in my room and I'm listening to it. You understand? So we should take conscious effort to have a personalized empowerment of ourselves. It is better that way, because if you say you want someone to empower you to be doing this, to empower you to be great, empower you to push you to do this, but then we'll just use it 4 grand, I swear. They'll go for your hand very well. We need to create a safe place for people around us. The truth is, it is very, very unsafe to idolize someone in our lives. We should stand tall to our authenticity. We should be able to stand tall and tell ourselves that we are who we are. We are who God has created us to be. We are great in our own form. Everybody has their own form of greatness that God brought them on earth to do. So we are great in our own form. Should be able to form real connections, not idolizing connections that will not mess up us, rather will grow us up, and will constantly project our judgments and expectations towards them and towards us. And the only way that we can do this is by leveling it. That's putting ourselves on a level playground. If you can put yourself on a level playground with people you meet, like you meet them and you place yourself at par with them, and you be like, oh, this person, we can walk pari passu, or we can relate pari passu. That helps. That actually helps a lot. You understand? Reminding yourself that you are also human. You have to have beautiful human experiences. But when you keep going with crazy stuff to them, they will treat you like that. So I'll leave you guys with these quotes that Bryn Brown said, connection is why we are here. It is what gives us purpose and meaning to our lives. That part exactly, that particular place is what I was saying earlier. It is okay for us to be vulnerable. So there's nothing wrong if you find someone that is equally vulnerable to you, and not someone that when you are vulnerable to the person will put you as under the person. You understand? So it's okay to be vulnerable. The reason why we were created is for us to connect. Interconnectivity. He knew what he was doing when he created. Why didn't he just leave Adam and Eve on earth, maybe with 2 children? But he created thousands and millions of people on this earth for interconnectivity. You understand? And I'm one person that I'm a biggie for connectivity, like me. I like to, what's that word? I like to interconnect with people. I like to connect with people. I like to meet people every day. I want to meet you. When I meet you, I won't even form. I will gist everything. Then from that first gist, I will know where to put you. If I want to not the word I do. If I want to make you someone I can learn from, I put you there. But I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I've made mistakes of idolizing people. I've made mistake of people putting people on a pedestal, and it really, really hurts. Honestly, it hurts. Even as I'm talking, the experiences I've had, they're getting to me right now. Like, it really hurts. You will barely be able to sleep when the day they will hit you. That is the truth. The day they will hit you so, so hard. That the funny thing is, they will actually be hitting you every time. They are hitting you. You'll be seeing it that this person is treating me as if, no, the person is superior to me. They'll be hitting. This is not pride. It's not pride of I don't want somebody to be superior to me. This is not pride. But when you see someone that's supposed to be a friend and you put the person somewhere there, sometimes the person even doesn't even have what you have. The person, you're even smarter than the person, but you've placed the person somewhere. What do you expect? The person will treat you like that. You understand? So the experiences I've had, this was actually not even the topic I want to talk about. I had something else to talk about, but I just, like, it really hurt me, my own experience. And I was like, let me just come out and speak about this today. This morning, as I was coming to work, I decided this was what I was going to talk about. And luckily enough, I am reading this book. Please, my people, kindly read this book. Sorry, my pencil. Okay. Kindly read this book. Daring Greatly. It's actually a book that you would enjoy. You will begin to realize that you are okay to be vulnerable. You are okay to meet people and be vulnerable to them. But do not be vulnerable to the point that they now start becoming idolized or one thing or the other. You place them in a high place. Be vulnerable to them, but know where you draw the line between your vulnerability, your friendship, and idolizing them. So friends, thank you for listening to me all the time. I'm really, truly grateful. Please follow me on Instagram at the Sandy Organgs plug as in PLUG, on Facebook too, and YouTube. Please kindly follow us, like us, and follow us. Put on your notifications so that you can see when we have other posts and other things. Thank you so much and have a good day.